Welcome to our discussion of Parashat Shemot. There's sometimes in history, the history of ideas, it takes a while for someone to notice something. And there are ideas which takes till the 13th, 15th century for someone to notice, till it takes till modern time for someone to notice. And then all of a sudden everyone notices and it becomes a part of the zeitgeist and the thing that everybody says. One of those points is found in our Parashat Shemot. Here, Moshe is standing at the burning bush. The bush is burning in fire. And yet the bush is not consumed. Where else do we find such a thing? Says Rabbi David Foreman, say the rabbis at Yeshivat Har Zion. We've seen this before. At Mount Sinai, this very mountain where Moshe sees the burning bush, the same Mount Sinai, and at Mount Sinai, the same language. It doesn't say it wasn't consumed, but clearly the mountain wasn't consumed. There was no fire. Moshe wasn't eaten by the fire. The people weren't eaten by the fire. The grass wasn't eaten by the fire. The mountain was on fire, and the mountain didn't burn. So it's an interesting point. The burning bush, Mount Sinai, they both burn, but nothing is consumed. Then I was thinking, isn't that interesting? Why? Because when Moshe has the experience of the burning bush, it's really a private opportunity, a private encounter with God, rendezvous with God. Moshe and God, the burning bush, and he sees this miracle. And he could go and tell his family and friends, which he didn't, but he could have gone and told them, I was at the bush and I had this wonderful experience. And you know what they would say? Some would believe him, some wouldn't. But instead, God says, this private experience that we're having now? One day, you will worship God on this mountain. How will anyone believe you? Because unlike other prophets who say, God appeared to me and he said that you should do this and you shouldn't do that. And some people believe him, some people don't. What's unique about Judaism is that experience of this holy man of Moshe at the mountain, that only he saw that the bush was burning and yet it wasn't consumed. Everyone would get to see that. At Mount Sinai, the whole world would see that God spoke to the Jewish people. God spoke to the world and said, I am the Lord your God. There was no question about it. You see, very often there's a gap between the holy person who has the holy experience. How do they convey that to others? This past week, I lost one of my teachers, Rabbi Label Dulit. How do I explain to someone what it was like to be in his class when he expected me to know everything? He expected great things from me. And if I didn't have the right answer, my name in Hebrew is Yaakov, he would say, Yaakov, you don't know. How could you not know? How could it be? He expected great things from me. That was my experience. How do I convey that sense of expectation to my students that I expect great things from them? How do I convey what I experienced? And when I was in 1976 in my bar mitzvah, and I took a walk to the Mount Scopus and there wasn't much there. And I looked over to the Temple Mount and had a personal experience. How do I convey that to others? How do you share it with others? There's the philosopher who said, words can't always convey things. You try to give a condolence to someone. It comes out like it's, I wish you well. I respected your father, grandfather, brother, sister, mother. How do you convey your feelings for another human being? How do you say I love you to your wife, to your children, to your parents? How do you convey all these feelings? It's very difficult to successfully convey feelings, experience. And yet Moshe had this wonderful once-in-a-lifetime opportunity where that private religious experience that he had, he could share with others. Some of us went to NCSY. So when we become rabbis or teachers or community leaders, we try to share the feeling of an NCSY Shabbaton with people in our community. I was in Rabbi Soloveitchik's class. The sense of trepidation that I had when I was in his class, the sense of awe for a great man. How do I convey that to others? What I experienced. How do you convey this? What it meant to be in Yeshivat Har Zion, to stand on a mountain, the wind blowing, guarding the yeshuv in the middle of the night, to sit with great people like Rav Lichtenstein, Rav Vital, Zichronam Vracha, and their students, and to be inspired by their passion for Torah, passion for the land of Israel? How do I convey that to others? At Mount Sinai, somehow it happened. And you know when it'll happen again? It says in the Haftorah for Parshat Shemot that on that day, a great shofar will be blown. What do you mean a great shofar? A really big shofar? We have a little shofar. Some people have a big shofar. That's the end of Jewish history, is when there's a big shofar. What does that mean? So I'd like to suggest what it means is as follows. Usually when the shofar is sounded, I know in Memphis when there's a siren goes off, some people wake up, they go in the closet. Some people don't wake up, some people don't hear it. The shofar gadol is when we'll be able to communicate the ideas of God and morality and goodness and kindness and love and all the important values that the Torah conveys. We'll be able to convey it as clear as a shofar. Everyone will hear it. There'll be no question about it. It won't be a problem of communication, of how do I convey a thought from one person to another. This is our hope. This is our dream. And let's hope that we're able to convey what's important to us, to others. I know so many people in my own congregation, people I know, they have such passion for Judaism and love Torah and Judaism. Those of you who are listening to the video, it's because you want to learn something. And yet, how do you convey that? How do you share that with others around you, some of whom have no idea? Why do you care about Torah? Why do you care about mitzvot? Why do you care about the continuity of the Jewish people? How do we convey this? Let us pray that that the communication should begin to flow. We should be able to communicate these deeply felt feelings, that to convey our feelings to those we love, convey our feelings of our values and our passions to others. And there shouldn't be that communication gap. We should be able, indeed, to convey our deepest sentiments to those around us. Thank you for joining us here at Anshei Sphard-Beth along with the congregation for a discussion of Parshat Shemot. Join us each week for a discussion of the holidays and the Parsha. And thanks to Jason Lefkowitz, our producer. Thank you.